Hey guys, welcome back to another video. We're gonna try to, excuse me, stretching. Gonna try to finish up, where the hell is my bag? We're gonna try to finish up, maybe two characters, or two figures, before I have to log in for something for work. So we're gonna work on this character, this figure here. I still haven't colored this in yet, which I will probably end up doing off camera, just because I might do it on camera. I'm not sure. So that way you guys can see how I'm going to do that, because I'm not quite sure myself, but we'll get there. So right now we're gonna work on this figure. Nope, undo. So let's select that and something like this, like the camera here. So I do have my iPad over on the side, on this side, where I have my reference. Actually, I'm actually gonna go back in so that way I can be close up without having to be weird with the have my head in frame. All right. So I think I might have mentioned this in previous videos, but no. But trying to sketch more or draw more without putting too much pressure on myself. I'm trying to just find something to talk about as I draw here. I think I mentioned, I don't know if I mentioned, I did get a second light. So actually, nope. I did get a second light for my art. So there's not too much of a harsh shadow. But I think I might have to get like a diffuser, or make a diffuser for the light, so that way I don't have these harsh shadows poking up through my stuff. Someone that should have tried to use parchment paper to see if that might help. Trying to see something here. Actually, that might work. Yeah, if I maybe get like parchment paper, kind of soften that light up a little bit. Anyway, but and I know technically there's no need to draw these facial features or the thing then, but practice, I guess. But anyway, I think I had mentioned in previous videos that I'm gonna have to kind of like work around. I can't do like straight up and down. It's not gonna work for me. So what I've been doing is that's these. Excuse me, Jesus. That's not what I've been doing. But what I've been doing is it's not even. Is I have been sketching more in my sketchbook. And mainly from I guess the only thing I can say would be a course, even though it's not really what you would, I guess, normally consider a course. But ears. Was it, did I put ears on the other characters? Yes, I did. But Tim McBurney, he's got a course. I guess that's the only way I can really describe it. I feel like I should have brought the head up a little bit, but if they're looking down, then the ears are actually going to go up more. If they're looking down. But it's more trying to he does more of a line and color style, I think is how he does it, or what his style is. And one of the things he talks about is just creating a sketching habit, and like having your intentions for that. Customize model, facial features, jaw. Setting intentions before you draw. And I think that's one of the things that's been a huge help. So like if I'm sketching in my art book or my sketchbook, setting clear intentions on what I'm trying to get out of that sketch session, I guess. Well, not I guess, but setting clear intentions on what I plan on getting out of that sketch session. It could be, and most of the time what I try to do is set the intention of just creating a sketch, and practicing like my shading techniques, and pretty much not taking it too serious, because nowadays it is a sketchbook. So I've been doing that a lot more, and you guys have been able to kind of see the outcome of that from the previous video where I showed you guys my sketches, the ones that I was kind of proud of, the ones I am proud of, because a lot of those came from me just sketching in my sketchbook and trying not to take it too serious. Even one of the sketches that I did where, actually I can show you guys. You can find my sketchbook. Show you guys real quick. I thought the sketch came out really good, but then I attempted to color it. This one right here. And I attempted to color it with marker, and it did not pan out the way I thought it was going to. So I felt like I ruined the sketch because of the markers. But then at the end of the day, it's just a sketch in my sketchbook. That is what it's there for. It is there for me to experiment and test certain things and see what will work and what will not. And he talks about, not feeling like you have to sketch every day. Just creating a regular habit of sketching. And he talks about creating a like list, which I think is, out of all the videos I've watched on YouTube and stuff like that, I think that has been the most beneficial for me, because you have all these people online, no shade to them at all whatsoever, who like, this is off and I don't like it. Does their neck need to be longer? But like this maybe. Yeah, this is off like that. But who feel like but yeah, I'm sorry, like list. But you'll have tons of videos who will talk about how to get rid of art block, how to deal with art block, yada yada yada. And his simple solution is, this is not, what is going on with this? But his simple solution is, here we go, is just creating a like list, which is pretty much the things that you like to draw, and I think he might have mentioned it, but I'm not quite sure, but also what you would like to start drawing. So for me, like some of the stuff I have in there, she's got, this is a female, so we're going to do this. There we go. But anyway, sorry. But talks about creating a like list of the things that you want to, or that you like to draw. And this person, this particular character just has larger, there we go, and then the rib cage here. Actually, whatever. Something like that. But anyway. Yeah, it talks about drawing or making a like list about things you would like to draw, or that you like to draw or would like to start drawing. And I feel like that has been a benefit, because if at any point I'm not quite sure, or I feel unmotivated to draw, or I'm not quite sure what to draw, or if I sit down at my desk and I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to draw. It's an indicator of the separation of the hips here. I need that, because this will be the actual legs. But that's something that I can just pick up or pick something off my like list and either find some studies, find an artist that I like and kind of break down maybe their art and kind of duplicate that or replicate that in my style, or take stuff from that and try to make it my own. Using that image as inspiration. And I feel like that has helped a lot. That's why you saw a lot of those drawings where I did a study of a a lizard first, and then went back in and customized it to, or altered it to create a dragon, or my interpretation of a dragon. And so yeah, but with that, it has allowed me, I feel like, to really use my sketchbook without any hard expectations. Like, I don't like the expectations or the intent when I go into my sketchbook is really just to experiment, try stuff out, get some ideas down, really test maybe some shading techniques and rendering techniques that I might want to incorporate into my art. And with that, I'm also taking that same mindset, or that same thought pattern, and doing that for my world building book. So that way, I'm not Just give me a sec here. No, bullshit. So that way I'm not afraid to just get stuff down on paper, things like that. Like, I don't want to do studies in my excuse me, I don't want to do studies in my world building book, but I know that I can do sketches in my regular sketchbook. And then take that. What time is it? And apply that to my world building book. Like, one of the things I would like to work on next is plants. Like the plants and the trees within this world. And so I know I could have went silent for a second as I sketched this. And technically, even though I don't have to put a lot of these facial features in, for me, I look at it as practice. But anyway, one of the things I was going back to what I was talking about. So one of the things I'm looking to work on next, or that I'm interested in, because with the world building, I'm just kind of going with whatever looks interesting to me at the time. So right now, plant life is something that looks, that is catching my attention. So, trees and the plants within this world are something that I would like to go ahead and start sketching in my world building book. But I would like to do studies of some actual trees, and from there from the studies on like the shape language and stuff like that, create some concepts of what some of these plants might look like on this world. So I did even pick up a book on mushroom. Actually, I'll show you what I got. So I did go to the bookstore yesterday, and I did pick up 3 books. So I'll show you the 2 that I got. I got one called Mushrooms. If you guys can actually see that. And this one is by DK. I have a good chunk of their books actually. They're amazing for reference and information. So outside of like pictures, the information on this stuff, I feel like is stuff that you can incorporate into not only environment design but also creature design. Maybe you have a creature that has certain shapes that look like mushrooms, or the texture of their skin, or maybe they have like spore-like things on their skin from that look like things that were from mushrooms. Like an example would be, I'm trying to find something here, velvet shank, I think is how you pronounce it, velvet shank. So this particular mushroom, the underside, I could imagine like a creature having this as like the skin texture on certain areas of their body. Or like maybe I'm trying to find something here. Give me a second. These mushrooms are pretty cool. Like I said, just looking at this, not even really, I haven't read anything yet, but maybe like these are lilac bonnet, I think, lilac bonnet. So like maybe having a creature that maybe it's like a sea creature, but like almost like a jellyfish, right? But it has these like long, thick, maybe like claw-like things at the bottom, and like maybe like this is like bigger, like expand this, and you have like multiple of these where it's uh, um, like claws that are kind of like where it walks, and then maybe two additional claws of how it like hunts and picks up food, and maybe the mouth of the creature is like underneath this like protective hood, and maybe this is like a hard shell um, type situation. But I'm not gonna show too much of this book, but I thought that was pretty cool, and it wasn't bad for the pricing, considering what I could use it for, and just also reading. And then also I got this one. It's called Strange Sea Creatures, and I think for like a lot of creature designs, the deep sea can be a huge resource of information and images when it comes to creature design. Like here's a sea slug, but that's what it looks like, or one of the a type of sea slug. And then it has like the scientific name and then some information about these things. But like having a creature like this and like blowing it up, and then maybe like having it like a hard shell versus like the soft body, and maybe these are like spikes as they kind of go. So and maybe that type of creature is actually like a herbivore, and is kind of like a very docile creature, but because of evolution and maybe it being hunted for food, it has created those type of defenses. So those are really cool ideas or cool things that I think are very cool. Like here's a giant deep sea isopod, and it's creepy looking, but I can only imagine the type of creatures you can kind of create gathering certain things from the image and then the information that it has as well. And then, of course, taking that and the information and maybe expanding it or looking up images online to find like different angles and maybe a little bit more information on those creatures. So, outside of using those books for reference, I'm also just a huge nerd in general. I like learning about creatures and animals. So, I feel like that's information that you can use, and specifically if you're doing with like creature or character designs, might be beneficial, because you can also use that stuff, I feel like, for character designs. Maybe you have armor that's inspired by the shell of a crustacean type creature, or maybe the armor is inspired by some type of I don't know, a lizard, or husked or horned animal. I feel like there's a lot that you can do with that stuff. Outside of actually, reading the books and actually learning about those creatures. one of my favorite shows when I was a kid used to be Animal Planet. I think there's still Animal Planet out there, but it's not the Animal Planet that I grew up on. The Animal Planet I grew up on was like documentaries of animals and stuff like that. So I know it's a little bit different. It's more, I think, reality TV shows, I guess, in a sense now. But and I guess they have their place, right? But I really need to do more studies of the human figure. It's been a while. But anyway, that's why I have a lot of the BBC DVDs that talk about like the planet and different aspects. Like I have one on the deep sea. I've got one, it's called Life. But it's like a six DVD set, something like that. And then I have another one, so like 3 that talk about different things when it comes to nature and stuff like that, which I find very interesting. And that just makes the nerd in me very happy, being able to learn about that stuff, honestly. I've always been a huge nerd when it comes to learning about that type of stuff. Who are you barking at? Barking at no one. Barking at no one. You done? Are you done? You're already going out. It's not time for you to eat yet. It's not time for you to eat. So also have like tons of, I don't say tons, but I also have books that deal with like don't you do it. He's barking for no reason. Stop it. That have books like touching on like I want to get one on armor. That's one of the ones I would like to get if I can find one that's not going to cost an arm and a leg. But I have one on like what is that? Architecture. I have one on knives and swords. I've already shown you guys like the one I have for like trees. I have one on lost cities. I haven't really cracked open yet, but I do want to. I have one on dinosaurs, ancient Egypt, architecture, insects, birds, one that's specifically on animals. I think I said dinosaurs. I have multiple books on dinosaurs. What is this? Ancient Egypt. I think I just said that. And then I also have, it's one of the ones that National Geographic Animal Encyclopedia. And then I have a small book on stars and planets. So just those types of books that I have on just learning about stuff, I guess. I do have a few magazines. I'll kind of show you guys real quick. Which one is this? I had this. But, so let me back up real quick. Let me zoom out. So I have this. I wish image. I haven't seen a lot of these in my bookstores anymore. I'm not sure if they still come out with these. I know that I think they come out with one each quarter, so every 3 months, but whatever. These I think are amazing. Informational stuff. Because it kind of ranges for some of these aren't really just on one particular thing, but if you can find them, they're very cool. It's called How It Works, and this one's the Book of Incredible History. So with this particular issue, it's talking about industry and inventions, influential figures, and prehistoric stuff. So it kind of gives you an idea of what ancient history, iconic landmarks, incredible weaponry, amazing inventions, influential figures, prehistoric beasts. So the influential and stuff I could care less about, but there were certain things in here that I did like. Like one was called Secrets of the Zulu Warriors. It even had like their formation in here. It had information regarding the F4 Phantom 2, how armor was made. And even though it's not in depth, it gives you some information, how drawbridges worked, flint weapons. All of this stuff can be beneficial and outside of like just learning stuff. But if you're doing type of world building and stuff like that, like it's very cool. Or if you're looking into creating worlds and characters and stories, being able to take real world stuff and using it to create your worlds and your stories is pretty cool. But this talks about the pagoda, inside a Japanese castle, the Pantheon, like all of this stuff. It gives you so much information that you can use later on inside a cotton mill. So if you're doing like an industrial type of story, medieval writing equipment, the first hearing aids, compass of the oceans, like all this stuff is so cool. The guillotine, the origin of the helicopters. You have all this stuff that is really beneficial. Then you have influential figures, and giving a little bit of information regarding them. So that's pretty cool. Of course, prehistoric stuff, dinosaurs. I have multiple books on dinosaurs. I feel like learning about dinosaurs is a huge benefit when it comes to creature design. I also have the world of animals. And this is also how it works as well. So they have different stuff. And so they're talking about different insects, inside a harp seal. It gives information on like size. Their tiger beetle can run fast, but it makes them go blind. Oh, I didn't know that. So these are stuff like you can incorporate into your characters or creatures as like information, like because how many people would think of having their creature lose sight as like it's chasing their prey if it was like a predator, right? So that's kind of interesting. So it has all this stuff regarding animals in here. How's your hearing? So even has some deep creature stuff in here as well. So like that book. And then another How It Works, specifically dealing with dinosaurs. So this is nothing but dinosaur information. And I think that stuff is just cool. Different types of dinosaurs. I know a lot of these are common, but I feel like some of these probably you wouldn't think of. And just a lot of cool information. Talking about velociraptors, and I know like you have the velociraptors that you see in Jurassic Park and how big they are, but you also have different types of velociraptors and like the size comparison to what they would have looked like. Stegosaurus, Stagiosaurus, of course the Tyrannosaurus Rex. And there might okay, so here's like another Velociraptor, Troodon. You have so much information that's beneficial that you can use. And just outside of just learning, right? If you like just having random facts and being a nerd, as I am. Is this how it works? No, this is all about history. It might be how it works. I don't know, but this is dealing with Vikings, and I wanted to know more about like the culture and like everyday life, and this is also very cool for reference and swords and weaponry and armor, things like that. So a lot of this stuff is just really outside of learning. It's really good for reference. So this isn't stuff that I bought in one go. A lot of this stuff is stuff that I have collected over, not a lot of this stuff, all of this stuff is stuff I've collected over the years. So don't ever feel like you have to go out and buy $1,000 worth of books off the rip. Like this book in particular, the strange sea creatures, this one was only $20 US. The mushroom one was $27. DK books are a little bit more expensive, but they are worth the quality is worth the price. But if you can find them at a used bookstore, then you're golden, because they are cheaper. Because even the bird book, the huge book it's called Bird, the definitive visual guide by DK. It actually even comes with a CD on the back of the book that you can pop in. I got that at my used bookstore. And I want to say it was like $20, give or take. Jesus. I want to say it was like $20. And it's a huge book. Like this bad boy is thick. It is thick. But selling retail price of this book, Jesus. The CD on the front. The CD's on the front side. But how much is this retail for? I'm gonna have to look it up. Because that is, as they say, that boy is thick. I'm actually gonna look it up because I'm not quite sure how much that book is. Let me see. Bird, the definitive visual guide. Okay, so the book that I have is a hardcover. They have a soft cover, I'm assuming. Or is this a soft cover? I don't know if I guess paperback. But I have a hardcover, so the hardcover is like $50, which is the going rate for a lot of the DK thick hardcover books. So I'm not surprised. And I think I was able to get it for like $20. So like something along those lines. And if you ever like DK, they have tons of books out there that are like great. I think it's not just for learning, but also for discover for reference and stuff like that. So so we have one more female and then one male figure. It's not even 9 o'clock yet, so I might be able to knock out one more figure here. Let me see, nonfiction, science, reference. What do they have for reference? So yeah, if you ever guys get a chance, you might want to check out. They do have one on. No, that's Star Wars. They do check out DK Books if they have them in your area, in your library. Or yeah, go to your library, rent out check out a book, use it. Or if you have the ability to purchase books, then do that. I would love to get their book on plants, but it is a little. I think they have one on plants, but I think just like the bird one and the other books that I have from them, it can be a little pricey. So you know, do it how you can. Actually, is this a hardcover? Like this is soft cover. So they have one on trees, leaves, flowers, and seeds. Currently on Amazon for $14. I'm not a huge fan of shopping on Amazon. I would like it to actually purchase it from an actual bookstore. All right. Anyway, let's finish this out. She's lopsided. She's not straight on, which is irritating me. Even like another thing I need to work on when it comes to the human figure is that connection clavicle area, like this area here, the shoulder neck connection, that I need to work on. That is one of the things that I struggle with a lot for some reason. I need to work on that more. That's because it's 46% off. God dang. Yeah, this book is normal. So the plant, I'm sorry, I'm looking at this, still looking at this plant book, but it's normally almost $30. And it's a hardcover. So yeah, normally it's 40, normally it's about, it's normally $25, but it's 46% off. That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. I like that. All right, sorry. Going here. All right. It is 9 o'clock. So, still got a little bit of time. I can try to knock out this figure here. There we go. I really need to work on the, you know what? Whatever. There's a lot of stuff I know I need to work on when it comes to the human figure. We'll slowly get there. We will slowly get there. And because I'm working on a comic, I'm gonna have no choice because I'm going to be drawing characters all the freaking time. So, you know, there's that. That I really want to, there's a lot of things I would like to really focus on. One being the facial features. Of the figure and really experimenting and creating so I'm assuming this is the side of the face, so let me do this, so something like that. So this goes here and this goes here. Like working on really creating like unique characters and really experimenting with especially drawing the character from different angles without the face from different angles without such a struggle. It would be nice. Like I'm almost there. I feel like when it comes to, let me get you guys back in here, sorry. When it comes to laying out the face, but then getting it to the features and the finished polish that I would like to get my stuff to. And I know that's just practice and taking my art to that level of polish that I'm looking for over and over and over again. Until I am comfortable doing that, no matter how many failed attempts and successful attempts, just continue to do it over and over and over and over and over again. At the end of the day, it's all about mileage. And making sure that you're doing the right mileage, I guess, as well. Not just mileage, but that you're doing the mileage that is going to get you to where you want. Because if you're looking to perfect the human figure and all you're drawing is mechs, that's the wrong mileage. That you're going down the wrong road, if that makes sense. I'm pretty sure it would be beneficial in certain areas, but I feel like if you're looking to draw the human figure and you're constantly drawing something that is not the human figure, you're gonna be struggling. Like for me, I want to get better at not only drawing the human figure, but also creature design. And in order for me to do that, I have to draw creatures. I can't expect to just draw humans and somehow miraculously be amazing at creature design. To an extent, possibly, if all I'm creating are humanoid-esque type creatures, but I still have to work or practice certain things like animal anatomy and learning different creatures and stuff like that if I want to be able to create interesting characters or creatures that don't look the same all the time, because all I know how to do is humanoid creatures that maybe only have characteristics of big cats, right? You can only do so much with that. And yeah, you can of course, do certain things like add more eyes and more limbs and how the character might walk or how their skin might be and stuff like that. But at a certain point, I feel like you need more, right? So expanding, working on your areas that you struggle in, that you're trying to improve. So for me, like I said, and I need to work on the neckline area, which I should write that down so I don't forget. Because one day maybe I'll just do studies on that. Things to study. Neck to shoulder connection. I'll just put all views so that way I know. We'll say I'll do like the breast to shoulder connection. To shoulder connection. That one I might not be able to do on stream because I could. I just have to probably like gather my reference in advance and kind of block out the chest area. So yeah. I don't know if I'll be able to finish this her, but we'll try. I feel like I'm almost done, honestly. And then here. And And of course, you know, I would have lightened this or softened this face up here. But I can do it without erasing the whole entire face. So here and then like that, and then I have to get my small eraser out. And I'll probably end up having to move this over some. Just so that way it looks a little bit better. I need to soften this cheek up still. I feel like this cheek is still harsh. And then something like that, I guess. Even though I'm not gonna see the face. There we go, something like that. There we go. I think I'm almost done with this particular character, in a sense of like, so here, and then actually, because I'm gonna go here and then boom like this, which means this is going to go here. And then maybe here. I think I need to make this leg a little bit thinner. It's got a dog. Leg is thick. So here, and then here, and then boom. And then maybe, because if here, then yeah, so like here, and then which means this is gonna have to change. So here, like that, there you go. And then it just needs to be erased. And then here, this is gonna go like this. Even though you won't even see this part. Got 7 laying in my damn chair, snoring in the background. I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna change this here. And then I'm gonna do this. So that way, there's some distance between here and here. And then after I finish this figure up, I'm gonna, oopsies, undo, shit, redo. This is like the knee area, which is fine, because that just means go here, and then here's the knee that's facing this way. Something like that. And then, which will probably end up being taken out anyway when I do this character. So there's that. I need to do this side, this arm. roughly put it in because it may end up getting taken out. But if not, that's fine. Let's go ahead and do a rough of the hand here. Mannequin. Let me lock this. So what I'm gonna do is do this. Do 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 do. And I know working on this comic is going to help me with my hands because it has no choice to, because I'm going to be drawing hands a lot. And I will be using reference for hands because my hand drawing sucks. So it is what it is. Can you hear Seven snoring in the background? He is literally in my chair, snoring his butt off, resting like he worked a whole freaking job today. So something like that. I'll of course clean this up later. Well, technically I won't need to because it'll be in silhouette. So I'll probably do like a slight outline of the hand so that way the hand is separated from the figure. But yeah, so we were able to actually knock out 3 figures in about an hour, 2 hours, an hour and 17 minutes with me talking about my reference books. So we're gonna wrap this up. Hope you guys found this useful, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.